Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Bone Health and More, Is Calcium the Answer? My name is Julie Mahajer. I'm a National Marketing Director with the Juice Plus Company and a wellness educator, and so excited to be with you tonight and thrilled to have you meet my mentor and friend, Jen Benkendorf. She is a wealth of knowledge. Jane is actually the author of the book, The Food Bible. She's the founder of OSAAT, a personal program designed to build healthy lifestyles one step at a time. She assists physicians around the country with incorporating wellness into their practices. She's a retired registered medical technologist, and she's also been an assistant with research at Oklahoma State University in their School of Veterinary Medicine. She has lived a fabulous life and has a wealth of knowledge to share with us tonight, and I'm thrilled to turn it over to her at this time to share her passion and knowledge. Jane, thank you so much. You'll want to unmute. I think we had you muted. Great, thank you, Jane.
Yes, well, thank you, Julie. Thank you so much for hosting the call tonight. And I just want to say welcome to everyone, and I want to share with you why that this topic is so passionate to me. My grandmother and my mother both had osteoporosis, and I watched them suffer with that. And I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I am small-boned, I am fair-skinned and blue-eyed. Those are the three huge risk factors for having osteoporosis. So you can see why this is so important to me. And I want to share my journey with you tonight on my research into this topic of, is calcium the answer? So let's just get started and we will see. Julie, am I doing this correctly?
Yes, yes.
All right.
You can stop your video and then you can get started.
Stop the video. Guys, I am new at this, so you can tell. So let's just get started here. All right. I want to share this with you because osteoporosis is so huge in the United States. In fact, I don't know if you are aware, but we take more calcium than any nation in the world. However, we have more osteoporosis than any nation in the world. And when I hear things like this, I have to say, something is wrong here. Why? When in other countries, there are other countries where osteoporosis is unheard of. Yet, in America, we take more calcium than anyone, yet we have more osteoporosis. So what's the problem? So let's look at osteoporosis surges. And it said, and I want to share these numbers with you because it says, as of 2003, there are an estimated 3.6 million people who'd been diagnosed with osteoporosis, compared with 500,000 in 1994. Now, I want to go over this. 500,000 in 1994, yet 3.6 million in 2003. It had increased from 500,000 to 3.6 million. Yet, this was introduced. This was at the time when the bone-building drugs known as Fosamax, Evista, and Actonel were introduced. So people are taking loads of calcium and these other bone-protecting drugs, yet we have more osteoporosis than ever before. So we have to look at that and say, what is going on? So let's look at it. In my opinion, and the opinion of many other people, it has to do with this right here. It is the balance between acid and alkaline. And you can see on this graph that the most acid is 0, the most alkaline is 14, and for good health, optimum health, we need to be close to the fulcrum or the 7. So let's just see where we really need to be. Ideal blood pH, and that's what we're looking at, is the pH. Ideal blood pH for humans is just a bit alkaline. It's 7.365. Let's go on. Now, because of what we eat and we drink, we are acidic. And let's see what happens here at 6.8. That's just barely acidic. Disease symptoms begin. just barely acidic. Let's go on. 5.8, cancer cells begin to form. This is because what we eat and what we drink have made our bodies so acidic that now then disease symptoms begin and now cancer cells begin to form. When we get too far, either too acid or too alkaline, we die. That is why it is so important to stay right close to that 7. And let's look at this. 3.5. The human body cannot sustain life. Like I said, we die. So, what is the problem here? Why are we so acidic? It's because of what we eat and what we drink. So what do we eat and what do we drink, and what difference does it make to our bones? It makes a lot of difference to our bones because we are so acidic, we have to balance it with alkaline, and the best source of alkaline is our bones. So the alkaline, which are the minerals in our bones, are pulled out of the bones in order to neutralize that acid. I really want you to get that. Because of what we eat and we drink, we are acidic. Because of that, in order to save ourselves, our body naturally pulls the alkaline, which are the minerals, from our bones in order to neutralize that. I hope you have that. So let's see what we eat that is acidic. I think you're going to be surprised. Beef. That is the most acidic food that we eat. And my family are ranchers and we raise beef. But that's not to say we should never eat beef. Obviously not. But when we eat beef, guys, do make certain that it is quality beef, that it is 100% grass-fed, no hormones, no antibiotics, no GMOs. Make certain that it is quality beef, but we don't want to overdo it. You know, beef is fine, just don't overdo it. Okay, let's go on and see what else is acidic. There's our chicken, and this is fried even, but chicken. And you think, oh my goodness. So anything from an animal is acidic. Let's go on further. They're the eggs, okay? And it could be any kind of meat. It could be beef, it could be chicken, fish, whatever meat it is. And then eggs, and then, look at their dairy. Oh my gosh, we're told to drink our milk because it's so high in calcium. Yes, it is high in calcium, however, it is acidic. So what about what we drink? Let's go on. Look at the coffee. Oh my goodness, and some of you are thinking, oh dear, she's saying I shouldn't drink coffee. No, just we don't want to overdo it, but know that coffee is very acidic. And there's another drink that's very acidic, the soda pops. In fact, there are some elite athletes that are instructed to never ever drink soda pops. And you know they get tremendous exercise that helps build strong bones. However, the coaches know what soda pop and all of that acid can do to their bones. It weakens the bones. So coffee and soda pop absolutely are some of the most acidic drinks that we have. Okay, let's go else and see what else. Sugar. Oh my goodness, and sugar's in so many things, so many things. Bottom line, it's processed foods, but sugar is extremely acidic. So these are some of the items that cause us to be acidic because of what we eat and what we drink. And you're probably thinking, now wait a minute, I know some other things that are acidic. So let's look at some other things and see. But what is alkaline? Let's look at that and then we'll find some acidic things in there. Fruits. Those are the alkaline foods. The fruits and the vegetables. But let's stick with fruits for just a minute. Two of the most alkaline fruits that we have, in watermelon And that little yellow one that's right there on the right side, lemon. And I can just hear your thoughts. Lemon is alkaline. Yeah, there's an orange in there too. And the pineapple's acidic. Tomatoes are acidic. Cherries. There are a lot of acidic fruits out here on our plate. But once we digest them, they become alkaline. And one of the most alkaline fruits we have is the lemon. I find it so fascinating what our body can do. But take that lemon, put it in your water, just use lemon all the time. Let's go on. Vegetables, looky there. All kinds of vegetables, carrots. What is that? Cucumber, celery, there's broccoli, parsley. Yes, the fruits and the vegetables are the alkaline foods. Now, maybe you're starting to see why in America we have so much osteoporosis. Because the majority of what we eat and what we drink were on those other slides. The meat, the processed foods, the coffee, the soda pops. And as a nation, we eat very few fruits and vegetables. This is where we get the minerals that help build our bones. Our bones are made of all kinds of minerals. And we hear primarily of calcium. Yes, magnesium and phosphorus, but it's primarily calcium. But our bones are made of all kinds of minerals, and we will look at those here in a bit. But let's go on here and look at this one. There's the calcium. I'm trying to think back at how old I was whenever I was told to start taking calcium. I'm thinking probably in my 30s because, you know, we build bone up until about 20, 25, 30, somewhere in there, and then our bones start to deteriorate if we do not get the fruits and the vegetables with all of the minerals. So that's why, at least I think by age 30, I was told to begin taking calcium and started out at 500 milligrams. That's usually where we start. And then as we get older, look at this. Hey, we take more. Now it's probably up to 750, 1,000 milligrams, whatever. Then when we reach menopause age, here we go. Whole bunch of calcium. Could be 1,500 milligrams, 2,000, whatever. Guys, when we do that, when we have all that calcium in our bloodstream, it has to go someplace. Yes, some of it is absorbed into the bone, but certainly not all of it. Some of it is excreted in the urine, but not all of it. So we have calcium running through our bloodstream every day, all the time, and it has to go someplace. Let's look at some of the places that it goes. This is an X-ray, and you can see the little kidney stones right above the hip bones there. You see the stones? And I imagine some of you people on this webinar have had kidney stones, or you know someone who has, and I understand it's extremely painful. But the majority of kidney stones are a result of calcium. Let's go on. Now, you see the arrows pointing there to the little white spots? That's a buildup of calcium on the outside of the bone. Those are bone spurs. Okay, that's on the outside of the bone, and I understand those are quite painful. Now, this one coming up, look at this, arthritis. That can be a buildup of calcium in the joints, which causes inflammation and pain. I've spoken to literally thousands of people across the United States, and when I talk to them, I ask them, when they say they have arthritis, I ask them, are you taking calcium? And everyone but two has said yes. So I ask them about their diet. Now tell me something about what you eat. Everything was in that first group of food. Lots of meat, lots of, the meat, potato, and green beans and corn, maybe, something like that. Lots of coffee. They were two ladies. They were friends. They drank lots of coffee every day. So they were eating the acid-forming foods and drinking the acid-forming drink and ate practically no fruits and vegetables. So no wonder. You see what was happening? Because their body was so acid that the minerals, the calcium, and all the other minerals were being pulled from the bone to neutralize that acid. They weren't taking calcium supplements, but all of that calcium and other minerals were being pulled from the bones, and it was running through the bloodstream and settling in their joints and causing arthritis. Okay, all right. When we reach menopause age, this is what can happen. Our incidence of heart attacks skyrockets. We bypass men. However, this particular picture here is of a man. He's in his 40s. And this was a scan that was done at the Heart Hospital here in Oklahoma City. On the right is a healthy heart. On the left is his heart. And you can see the buildup of calcium in the arteries. And that's the purpose of the scan, is to see if a person is at risk for heart attack by seeing if there is calcium, a calcium buildup or mineral buildup in the arteries. And obviously that was the case here. And I'm certain he probably wasn't taking calcium pills. I didn't interview him, but I'm certain if he's from Oklahoma, he eats the typical Oklahoma meal and probably drinks a lot of soda pop. So this is what his heart looked like. Now, let me just share with you. I was showing this picture to a group, and there was a chiropractor in the audience. And she said, she just jumped up and she just said, that looks exactly like a picture that I took of a patient. Patient came to her with back issues, pains in the back and so forth. And she said, I always take an x-ray first to see what the problem is with the alignment in the back. So she took the picture, and this is what she saw on this woman. And she came back and showed her, and she said, there is no way that I can work on you, because if I were to press on your back, I could dislodge this calcium buildup, these deposits, and you could have an immediate stroke or heart attack. And she said, you go to your cardiologist, have this taken care of, and then you come back to me and we'll look at your spine. Interesting, huh? Okay, let's go on and see some more about this heart business. Okay. A new heart hospital opened up in Oklahoma City, and this was published just soon after it opened because they were offering a good deal. Come in and get your heart scanned for only $100. Call right now for your appointment. Now, the purpose of this scan, like I said, is, and it's highlighted there, is to detect calcium deposits. That's the whole purpose. This provides a 3D image of calcium deposits in the heart to determine if a person is at risk for heart attack. Calcium running around through the bloodstream. All right. This is a study that suggests there's a risk from taking calcium supplements. Let's see. Older women who take calcium supplements to maintain bone strength may have an increased risk of heart attack. Many women take calcium supplements to try to prevent osteoporosis, a condition in which bones become weak and brittle, leading to fractures. Researchers in New Zealand conducted a study that involved almost 1,500 healthy postmenopausal women, average age 74, and half of them were taking a daily calcium supplements and half were given a placebo. And they were followed for 5 years. Now, let's see what happened. Heart attacks were more common in the women taking calcium supplements compared to women who got a placebo. They said that because calcium supplements raise blood calcium levels, this accelerates the formation of deposits in the arteries that could lead to a heart attack. And this is published in the British Medical Journal. Don't you find that interesting? Yep. Okay, let's go on and see what else. Here's another one. This was a large meta-analysis done in 2010 that looked at data on more than 8,000 adults. They found that those who were taking calcium supplements, now get this, a minimum of 500 milligrams a day, had a nearly 30% greater risk of heart attack than those who were not. That's amazing. Amazing. 30% greater risk. This is from the Harvard Heart Letter. A German study found a significantly increased risk of heart attack among women taking calcium supplements, but not among those who got their calcium from food. And this is published in the journal Heart. But isn't this what we're talking about? We need to be getting our calcium from food. And remember, it's not just calcium. There are many more minerals. Let's look at them. Calcium is the biggie. Then what else? There's phosphorus. Yes, we've heard of phosphorus. And we've heard of magnesium. But let's see what else. Copper, strontium, boron, and many, many, many others. These are just a few of them. And there's one there you probably have never heard of, strontium. Let's look at that. And strontium can be pronounced a couple of different ways, strontium or strontium, it doesn't matter. But it's an alkaline earth metal. It's found in soil and rock compounds, as well as mineral waters and ocean waters. Now that's significant. Get this, strontium is the 17th most abundant mineral in the human body, and it's a vital component of bone. Yet most people have never heard of it. Our health professionals are not familiar with it. It says, according to some sources, stable strontium is the most effective substance yet found for the prevention and treatment of osteoporosis and other bone-related conditions. I find this study so interesting. This was done many years ago. So this has been out there for years. This was done in 1985. This study indicates improvement in bone after the administration of strontium. It was 600 to 700 milligrams of strontium administered a day in the form of strontium carbonate. And get this, bone biopsies were taken at the hip bone. How would you like to have a biopsy of your hip bone? But bone biopsies were taken at the hip bone before and after 6 months of treatment. Then, there in bold, it says, there was 172% increase in the rate of bone formation. I promise you, if I had osteoporosis, I would be looking into strontium. Let's go on and find some natural sources of strontium. Now remember, at the top, it says it's found in soil and rock compounds, as well as mineral waters and ocean waters. So let's see. Food sources of strontium. First thing, sea vegetables. Okay, ocean waters, sea vegetables such as kelp. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I tried kelp one time and did not care for it at all. But you can get it in capsule form and you don't taste it. So there's a good source of strontium in kelp. And then, of course, sea salt. And that's going to have a good combination of minerals. Same thing with the sea vegetables. Then the deep-rooted plant foods. Dandelion greens. Yeah, dandelion greens. Now, the deeper the root, the more minerals are brought up. That's why alfalfa sprouts, alfalfa is so good, because those roots, the longer that an alfalfa plant stays in the ground, the deeper the roots go, and it brings up vital minerals, all kinds of minerals down deep in the soil. But make certain when you get alfalfa sprouts, or if you buy alfalfa seed to sprout your own, make certain that it is organic, because some alfalfa now is genetically modified. Yep. And Brazil nuts, another good source of strontium. So let's go on here. Now, I'm going to back out of that because I want you to, Julie, I may need some help here. Stop share. Okay. Ah, you can see me. Yeah. I can see me. Okay. Now then, because now at the point where I really want to share with you what I do. Let's just say for many, many years, I took a multivitamin and calcium. I did that for many years, but I don't anymore. And I want to share with you what I do. But something, before I get to that, I want to share something with you about a multivitamin. Now, this is, I hope you can see this. This is Centrum, and it says adults under 50. Obviously, this one's not for me, but it could be any multivitamin. And on the back, I want to read this to you. On the back of this, of the Centrum, and it could be any multivitamin. If it's not on there, it needs to be on there. This warning that says, long-term intake of high levels of vitamin A, excluding that source from beta carotene, may increase the risk of osteoporosis. Guys, when we take a multivitamin, we're increasing the risk of osteoporosis. Look at this. This is a children's vitamin. It's also the very same verbiage on the children's vitamins. What are we doing to ourselves and our children by giving them this? So now then, let me share with you what I do to protect my bones. Because again, my grandmother and mother both suffered from it, and I don't want to go down that route. What I do, I take, well, it's fruits and vegetables. What can I say? That's where the minerals are. That's where the vitamins are. That's where the antioxidants are. So this is what I do. I take Juice Plus. It's fruits, it's vegetables, and it's berries. 30 different vine-ripened fruits, vegetables, and berries with all of the minerals that make up bone. All of the minerals. Now, when I first heard about Juice Plus, I thought, you know, this sounds really good. It's whole food. It's what we should be eating. It's whole food in capsule form. And by the way, it's in gummies, and kids can even get it free. Isn't that fantastic? But anyway, it sounded good. But Julie mentioned in my introduction that I used to work in research, and it was at Oklahoma State University School of Veterinary Medicine. Yes, I worked on animals, but hey, it was research and it was quality research. So I understand research. So whenever I heard about Juice Plus, I asked, is there research? And I was told, yes, there is. And I thought, you know what? I know about research, and there's good research and there's not so good research. So I want to see it. When I saw the research on Juice Plus, it made such a difference. And I want to share one of them with you, because to me, this is just, it makes such a difference. And it has to do with heart disease. And we talked about that. This has to do with what happens when we eat something high in fat. When we eat something high in fat, our arteries naturally constrict. Okay, here's an artery, wide open. But when we eat something high in fat, that artery gets smaller, it constricts. That's just what naturally happens. And it takes 4 to 6 hours for those arteries to get back to their normal size. I thought maybe 15, 20 minutes. 4 to 6 hours. That's amazing. So what was done in this particular study, participants went to a fast food restaurant and ate a typical high-fat meal, then went to the laboratory to check the blood flow. The average constriction, okay, here's your wide open artery. The average constriction, 43%. That's almost halfway. And every time the heart beats, can't you just see high blood pressure happening here? It's trying to force its way through this little bitty opening. Sure, there's going to be high blood pressure. What if there's already a buildup of plaque in that artery? That pressure can chip off that plaque, and there can be an immediate stroke or heart attack, and we know that happens. All right, so what they did on this study, they took the participants and divided them into 3 groups. One took a placebo. We know that's a dummy capsule. It looks like the real thing, but it has no value. The second group took the fruits and the vegetables. Okay? The third group took all 3, the fruits, the vegetables, and the berries. They did all 3. And they did this for just 28 days. That was all, 28 days. And after that, they went back to the restaurant, ate the same meal, checked the blood flow. Placebo group, same thing. Here we go. 43% constriction. Now, the fruit and the vegetable group, 18% constriction. It went from 43 to 18. Guys, that's huge. That's a huge difference. Now, The group that took all three, the fruits, the vegetables, and the berries, you ready for this? 2% in some to 0 in others. Amazing. Amazing. That's what good nutrition can do. And while it's doing that, it's also supplying all those minerals that help build our bones. But this particular study was for the heart. Now, all of this sounds fantastic, but I have to ask, was that study peer-reviewed? Was that study published in a credible journal? Let me just show you where that's published. It's in the JACC, which is the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. This is the cardiologist's major journal, and you think about that. Every cardiologist in the world has access to this research on Juice Plus. Now let me ask you, how can I know this information and not share it? I have to. I feel compelled to share this information. And also I feel compelled to share what I've learned about bone health. But I want to ask you, please, don't take my word for the information that I shared with you about the pH and bone health. Do your own research. Check it out for yourself. Whether you go to the library, you go to the bookstore, you go on the internet, wherever. You look up bone health and pH and you decide for yourself. Remember, this is your health. It's your body. It's your choice. So I ask you to think about that and make a good choice. So Julie, it's yours.
Thanks again so much, Jane, for sharing with us all tonight. And for anyone who has questions about what Jane shared, or if you want more information about Juice Plus, definitely ask the person who invited you to join this webinar this evening, and they can get you connected and get you with the right information. I hope you've been as blessed this evening as I have to be reminded of some of these points and learned so much, and look forward to helping you implement these things and be thoughtful with your health food choices to really see a difference in your overall health. Have a great night and a healthy rest of the week. Thank you.